Hello Saturninefilms, this is Michaemus responding to your video, Praying to an Absent God. Now, I apologize, I have a cold, so I'm going to have a bit of a grating voice here, and it's probably going to aggravate the crap out of you. But as far as, I've seen several of your videos, and it looks like you're overall a pretty angry person as far as what I see. I'm not sure if YouTube is maybe just your outlet for some residual anger, or the acquisition of anger you have during the day toward theology as a whole. That's irrelevant though. But I do see that you have a lot of anger in, and that's my perception. But my message here is you seem to believe that there's a contradiction, and there's a large contradiction in religions on God being a benevolent being, as well as a being of vengeance and execution and such. Let me tell you this right now. Anybody who views and interprets that perception in the Bible is typically an individual with a motive that is not benevolent, a malevolent motive. They are wanting to uplift themselves and create a more I guess the best way to put it is powerful position for themselves. And what better way to do that than to invoke some type of fear of retribution from this just God as well. At any moment he'll turn against you and start smacking you around like a red-headed stepchild. Now in the Bible there's a division. There's Satan, who is the father of all lies and deception, and then there's God, the all-loving and all-caring. And this is lost, I think, to fundamentalist Christianity, especially here in America. They forget that little message that Christ gave of loving one another, forgiving unconditionally, not judging each other, or else you'll be judged, and not to condemn each other or you'll be condemned, and all that wonderful stuff. Sounds like you've probably been burned in the past from religious extremists and such. Sorry if that's the case. There's nothing I can do about that other than to tell you that not everyone believes that way. For instance, Buddhism, its entire belief structure is peace, love, and that if you treat each other with dignity and respect, that is what truly matters. And I follow that belief structure. I am a Christian, but I am not a Christian that is like the typical Christians that you see out there in the United States today, that condemn everyone to hellfire if they don't believe the way that they believe. My belief structure is, if you're a good person with benevolent intentions for your fellow man, that's good, and that's great, that's amicable, and you should continue to do that. That's what Christ taught us to do. I mean, how many people were Christians before Christ? And they don't, these small little organizations that have only been around for a decade or so don't look at things that way. They have this particular mindset and this particular viewpoint. Now, this anger and hatred toward God, I think, from what you've seen, I can't really blame you for what you believe, because it's you have come to a conclusion or a mindset based off of what you've seen and observed, and you have to respect that. I mean, that's what I am. Everything I believe and know is based off of what I have learned and acquired and come to accept as reality. So, I mean, what I'm trying to tell you here is, life is not this bleak and damning existence. God is not a source of pestilence and corruption that you say He is. It's peace, happiness, love. He wants to bless us, but see, we live in a natural world. We have fallen, and so He has to allow these things to occur. And it's not immoral. It's not unjust. We have to experience this finite and impotent existence in order to understand the pleasures and love and peace that exists in a perfect world. I suppose that goes with the philosophy. One cannot know happiness or health unless they have experienced sickness. So that's why you see what you see. That's why we experience what we experience, is to have a knowledge, a true knowledge of what an existence like the one we're in is like. So you can agree with me or disagree with my belief that God is a loving and just God, and that He is allowing us our desire to go through this fundamental step in our progression towards returning to Him. And you can take it with a grain of salt. Use your logic. I mean, I probably don't even have to tell you this because you obviously are a very independent thinker. Just try and enjoy this life as best as you can is all I have to say to you. You seem angry, as I said before. You shouldn't let that run your life, because in the end there's no happiness in it. You'll look back at your life and you'll realize that it's purely reactionary, and it had been nothing more than a refuse of other people, a negative, I should suppose. And to live a negative life is not what you want. But I mean, who am I to say what you want? You're your own person. I'll leave it at that. But just try and find happiness is my best word of advice. Wherever it is, whatever it takes, just try and find happiness if you are truly an unhappy individual where you are right now. Just whatever it takes, whatever belief structure it takes, just find happiness and try and propagate happiness. Good night.